let's say I go to a wedding and everyone there eats the same food. Let's say I go home and find out the next day about 90% of the people say that they went home, they were throwing up, sick, didn't sleep well. And I think to myself, I feel absolutely fine. I felt fine, you know. Would it be irrational of me to then think that all of those people are A, either lying, or B, they just don't understand their body enough to understand what's going on, or what it was they were eating, or they were doing it wrong. They maybe drank too much water right before they ate, or just, ate too much fish. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely, that would be irrational. Absolutely. And so if there's any vegans watching, that's exactly what you guys sound like. And especially the ones making videos, blaming people, acting like it was because of a fast they did, or because they followed freely, or just whatever conclusions you're coming to. You know, because you've had to go nitpick and find the clips.
Way, and I'll get it. Gee, I don't know. Not such a tough one. No, I'm just kidding. It really just boils down to two reasons. The first reason is because I still give a
Yeah, in about 2 hours after I ate the salmon, I felt my entire brain tingling. It's as if there were little teeny tiny tingles happening all over, and it was definitely a weird, unfamiliar feeling. It was not painful, but I instantly thought, holy shit.
And the second reason is I never followed the advice of Freely the banana girl.
I asked for the egg yolks to be pretty raw, and I just dipped bread in the egg yolks, but within 5 minutes, my brain started tingling. It was almost like it was dry, or there was a hole in my brain that was kind of being nourished or being fused together from this egg. And within 15 minutes of finishing both eggs, I immediately just felt a rush of relaxation throughout my body that I hadn't felt in a long time. Didn't realize how tense I was.
I just want to point out briefly that ALA, which is in plants, has to be converted to the animal form, which, obviously in animals it's bioavailable. So obviously the brain definitely requires these. So this conversion process to convert the plant fats into animal form, some of the pathways are lacking in adults. They just stop working as well, and there's all kind of other factors that can play into them not working as well. This has been well understood since like the 80s and 90s, although the science has largely been ignored.
Been promoting very silly and downright dangerous advice. Raw till 4, 30 bananas a day, unlimited amount of calories, and
it brought to me a top sirloin steak with that layer of fat on the top. And I looked into it, and it looked very good. I was like, oh man, a steak, I remember this. And the first bite I took and I swallowed it, immediately the fat, I digested it and it went into my brain, and I felt it heal like a hole in my brain. Like a dying wolf. I literally felt like a dying wolf who came out of starvation. I looked at him and I told him, bring all the meat. For the first time in about a year, my joints stopped cracking, my dry skin went away. I actually slept. I was only getting maybe 5 hours of sleep before that on this vegan diet. And I immediately then knew, okay, there's something to this. How did I just heal so profoundly?
This is antidotes and pseudoscience.
Like half my symptoms were gone. And I remember thinking, oh shit.
So if I'm going to be completely honest here, if people were dumb enough to think that eating 12 mangoes a day would sustain them, are the same morons who are now going on the carnivore diet.
The first night after I had that salmon, I had a wet dream. I hadn't ejaculated in months.
Kids, a lot of them with eating disorders, who are posting videos about why they are no longer vegan.
This time I downed the egg, I honestly felt better right away. I was like, my cells, everything was sort of singing, and I was kind of intrigued by that. And so, cheers.
Instead of taking a few steps back and reevaluating and maybe admitting to themselves, yeah, I was kind of stupid for following that dumb advice.
But then when I woke up the next day, I literally woke up like with a fucking hard dick, and like I felt so powerful and strong and good, and like I was just like, wow, what is this? Like I actually didn't put two and two together that the night before I binge ate on animal products.
What did they do? Instead of blaming themselves for being a moron, they blame veganism and the movement in general.
So going and finding those clips, you have to listen to some of these stories, at least a little bit, and so you know that they actually quote unquote did it right. You know this because they all say, or most of them say, they were eating whole foods, they were tracking everything on Chronometer, they were taking all the supplements recommended. And so for you to ignore the whole foods part, and just simplify it all down to one fast they did, or one raw food stretch they did. Denial is a crazy thing, because most vegans who are doing it right, which is everyone who's currently vegan mostly, they're all doing it right until they quit, and then they're doing it wrong, of course. They did it wrong. But most of these people who are still vegan, they've at least, fasted before, or they tried raw food before, something like that. So to blame it on that is absolutely denial. And denial is a very, very strong thing. I'm even seeing psychologists getting caught in the hold of denial. So, and the reason why this is happening is because if they admit that even one of these people, even one of them, couldn't figure it out, there would be no way for them to figure it out eating only plants, and that their health actually did deteriorate as a result of this diet. That would be acknowledging that it's not optimal for, that's point blank. It's not optimal for everyone. And actually, it's even inferior. It's an inferior diet. And it's an inadequate diet. They would have to admit that if they acknowledged one of these ex-vegan stories.